Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time to join us today. We're back with another Facebook Live session, and we're very excited today to have our guest with us from MedCerts, Miss Sandy Mead and Brenda Thompson. So we're really excited. If you're out there watching, make sure you let us know in the comments that you can hear and see what we're saying. Because it's not going to be very effective if you have no idea what we're saying and you can't see us. So we're going to give everybody just a little bit of time. Thanks again for joining us. Make sure you comment and let us know that you're able to see and hear us. And we'll give everybody just about a minute and a half to join, and then we'll get started. So Sandy and Brenda, thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
Thank you. Well, hello, Mindy Puckett. How are you today?
Hey, Mindy. Thanks for letting us know you can see and hear us. Thanks for joining us. All right. So everybody just a little bit more time. And then we will get started. So it's not a good start if I can't talk at the very beginning of this. So, all right. So remember, we're just going to kind of go through the format. We'll interview Sandy and Brenda about MedCerts. We're really excited about, if you're interested in IT or the medical field, this is a great way to get real world application training in that career choice or in that field. So we're excited they took time to join us. So start thinking of questions. Remember to get them in. There is a little bit of a delay sometimes getting that at the end. So we'll go through our questions. We'll remind you before we start our Q&A. So make sure you get your questions in so they show up in time. And Ken, thanks for joining us. We're glad that you're here. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So Sandy and Brenda, can you just take a moment to introduce yourself to us and who's watching with us today?
I sure can. Thanks, Garrett. Thank you so much for inviting MedCerts to this awesome opportunity to share our online training programs with your residents in the area. My name is Sandy Mead. I am the National Director of Workforce Development for an online school based out of Livonia, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. We do online training for people all over the country. In fact, because of our military channel, we now have students all over the world.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, and then I have Brenda.
And I'm Brenda Thompson. I'm the Regional Workforce Development Manager for Kentucky, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And I'm pleased to be here to meet everyone and to assist you in your workforce needs in the region.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we're just going to dive right into it. There might be some people out there that are watching that don't know what MedCerts is. So really, what is MedCerts? And can you tell us just a little bit about the programs that you offer? Because I know there's a lot.
There are. MedCerts started off in 2009. So we have 11 years experience working with online training and making it pretty awesome. We do online training for healthcare and IT certifications. So the goal is to be able to have a resource to get short-term training. A lot of us, when we're unemployed, we don't have time to do the 3 to 5 year degrees. Let us get something short-term, get my foot back out there and make an income. So ours is for short-term training, which all lead to national certifications. The exciting part is no matter where you're at, you can do this training around your busy schedule. There's no specific commitment to doing it Tuesday and Thursday night from 7 to 10. You can do it and wrap it around your schedule. All of the training leads to a certified medical administrative assistant, a clinical medical assistant, pharmacy tech. So national credential in healthcare or IT, a single certification program can be done in as fast as 3 months. We really like our dual certification programs because our goal is to be able to help your residents there achieve training to get the job, but more importantly, to have the credentials to begin a career and have a career growth opportunity.
That's all. So it really seems like there's a lot. And like you said, you talked about the dual. And the great thing is you talked about, it's kind of like around your busy schedule. You know, if you are unemployed or you're just thinking about changing your career, you've got a life outside of this. So having the ability to be flexible and get that quick turnaround and not spend, you know, 2 to 4 years getting that, to get a certification that's going to get you ahead in the workforce is really, that's what I love about the ability to, you know, MedCerts and other programs that are like that, to give you that certification that'll get your foot in the door. So really, this just kind of leads to the next question. If you're out there watching, or somebody's watching, or you're watching later, if they are interested in attending MedCerts, really, what's the best way to get information?
Well, you can definitely go to medcerts.com. There's a lot of information, all of our programs and the credentials that go on it. As Brenda mentioned, Brenda is the regional workforce manager there for Kentucky. So anybody could send her an email at bthompson@medcerts.com. It is going on the screen so they can see that, as well as give her a call directly and let them know that you're a resident of Kentucky, you're interested in doing some training. The really neat thing, Garrett, is if we are working with you, the local workforce office, and all that you do, our programs are approved for the state of Kentucky on the eligible training provider list. But we also have a channel. People are looking to do the training, qualify for assistance. They can pay for it on their own. And in the long run, we're really inexpensive. They don't go out with years and years of debt. In fact, we do have the ability to help them with an education loan at a very low interest rate, and they can pay it off in as fast as 18 months. So really low cost training leading to national certifications to help them that way.
That's awesome. And then, so we've added that. You'll notice, like we said, Brenda, it's scrolling across the bottom, and we'll add Brenda's phone number and email in the chat as well at the end of this. And we went ahead and added the website so you can check it out, because there's a lot of online training. And again, you know, like Sandy had mentioned, it is on the eligible training provider list, which is done through WEO, which we've talked about a while ago. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can reach out to us here at the Kentucky Career Center to get more information on that as well. Or if you just like to reach out to MedCerts, it seems like there's really great opportunities to really get that going without maybe having to go through a workforce development agency like us or a short-term loan. And really 18 months is a pretty good deal in terms of student loan debt. I didn't get to pay mine off in 18 months. So that's a pretty good deal. So really, like that leads us, they're interested, they reach out to Brendan. That might answer this next question that we have. It might be right along the same lines, honestly, is what are the steps to enrolling in a program with MedCerts?
Well, the exciting part is, even though we're online and we're based here, you know, home office is in Michigan, Brenda physically sits in North Carolina. So, you know, we're all over, but the commitment is, it's not enroll and ignore. Each student is sent an admission advisor to really talk with them about the program, the expectations, what their career choices are. So we really want to meet up with the student and have a conversation about what they did, where they're at now in life, and what their goals are. And then once they're enrolled, let's say they choose our clinical medical assistant program, they are assigned a student advisor. So a student advisor is going to be their one point of contact all the way through training. So it gives them the warm and comfortable feeling that they know, who do I contact if I have any questions? Throughout my entire program, it's one point of contact. So we're real excited about that one-on-one attention that we provide our students.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And it can be really confusing, you know, especially if you've maybe, you know, you've worked at the same place for 15 years and COVID hit and now you're kind of needing to do something new. It can be scary to jump into that, to sort of know that, you know, enrolling in you know, training or higher education can sometimes be difficult and a scary process. So to know that you have somebody there with you that's not just going to leave you hanging. So I think that's great that we're able to kind of offer that support. So, and that kind of leads us into the next question that we have so we talked about as little as 3 months, you kind of work around your own schedule. What can someone expect while they're in the program? You know, kind of what's the training like? You know, what are the benefits, obviously, other than obtaining a certification in something that's an in-demand field? You know, kind of what are the support systems that you touched on a little bit there before?
Very true. So the neat part about our online training, back in the day when schools were starting off, it was a lot of video and instructor-led voice over PowerPoint, right?
Okay.
But we've had 11 years to really perfect it. We now get into simulations and activities.
Oh, that's so neat.
To participate. It's not just a lecture. One of the programs we literally just started, and when they told me we were going to do this, I was amazed, is MedCerts online training is doing phlebotomy. And I'm like, how do we teach phlebotomy? You know, we're an online training provider. So every phlebotomy student still needs human medical terminology. They need to understand HIPAA and the patient privacy laws. They need to understand the blood laws and safety and the requirements. And you know, all those vials, when you go to give blood, the different colors, and there's the chemicals in that in the bottom.
Yeah.
So we're teaching all of that, but the simulations, the students have to use their mouse and participate. It's not the same as the sticks. We understand. We do have a nationwide agreement with DaVita Health, and the American Red Cross would love to interview our graduates. But the point of the training is the interaction, making them work. They have to choose, where do they put the needle, where do they put the bandage and the gauze and all of that. So the games and the simulations that our training has come to now, it keeps the interest. So they're not sitting there just listening to a lecture and your mind tend to wanders. When you have to participate in the training, it really does keep you going. So we're real excited that the students have that activity and involvement throughout their training now.
That's excellent that it's interactive. You know, I've done a fair share of, you know, even Zoom meetings that are just, you know, kind of PowerPoints, and you kind of get lost in the shuffle. So something to keep you interactive and to keep you moving, I think that's great. And I know that we talked a little bit, Brenda, previously about subject matter experts to be sure that they all have the information they need to be successful in their program. I'm assuming that's kind of just a perk, and like the support that you'll have is you'll have somebody that's really an expert in that area to help them, you know, make sure that they're successful, I guess.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, she didn't hear that. So I'll take it. I gotta love technology. Yes, absolutely. It is nice for the student to know that they have the one-on-one mentor and the support for any questions. And upon completion of MedCerts training, they'll get the certificate of completion from MedCerts. But the most important part is not that. The most important part is that national certification from the National Healthcare Association, the Pharmacy Tech Certification Board, or our IT programs, the national certifications from CompTIA. So MedCerts has an advisor that will help one-on-one with the students and provide practice exams, right? Each of these certification exams cost money. They're a national credential. We work with people that have that exam anxiety. So if we can provide practice exams, then it gives them that comfort zone that they know what to expect when it comes time to the real certification exam. And we're there to help guide them on how to even schedule it, and we pay for it. So it's all inclusive in the training forum.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that the part of it too is that you pay for that certification exam. So, and having that, I remember having to do one, and it's just really stressful because you just like go into a room and you're on a computer and it's just like it shows up on the screen pass fail. Like you don't know what you did wrong. And it was just stressful. So having that somebody like to help you prepare for that and be ready could be so beneficial, especially if you have test anxiety. And I noticed, just to touch on, we talked about support services and what they'll get. So you said that you had partnerships nationally with DaVita, Dialysis, and American Red Cross.
Yep.
So that, I'm assuming, like they get the opportunity, like you can kind of have a warm handoff, like, hey, this trainee graduating, they'd be a great fit, and they get that opportunity to.
Absolutely. You know, with MedCerts being online, we're currently approved in 26 states on the eligible training provider list, working our way across the country to additional states. But Red Cross is all over, right? DaVita Dialysis, I didn't know that until the last few years, but they're all over.
Yeah.
CVS, Walgreens, they love our pharmacy tech students. So the neat part is when our students finish, we do try to find out if there is a local need in the area, then it is a nice warm, here's the resume, because we do have those connections. Because we have students all over, it doesn't mean that there's always the person hiring right then and there at DISA or Red Cross. But because of the national certification, if your students do the training right there and your residents in Kentucky and choose to move to Florida or California or Maine, these credentials mean the same thing everywhere they're going to go.
And we have a really great career services team, as Sandy was saying, and their job is to really make sure that our students are successful in terms of finding the right job that's going to be the best fit for them. So that all falls under the career services umbrella and connecting them and aligning them with our employer partners that we have nationwide.
No, I think that's amazing just to have that support in that transition, you know, going to school, getting training, and then transitioning to a new career, and just to have somebody like in your corner to help you. I think that's, you know, such a benefit of programs that offer that offer career assistance and offer, you know, educational assistance. So I think that's amazing. So that's going to lead us to my favorite question. I love to ask this question is, and I'm sure it'll be different for everybody, but just kind of give us an example of a day in the life of a trainee. Like, what could I expect if I enroll at MedCerts?
Well, you know, the neat part is once you get started, you can get yourself your cup of coffee or tea and wait till the kids are either in bed or in school, or, you know, with COVID, they're not in school right now in most cases. But sit down and focus on your training. One of the things, and we'll tie that into the next question of what is a fun life or a fun fact, is I'm older. I remember the game Tetris, you know, so I don't know how our child is too young. They might not remember one of those beginning games. But built into our training is a Tetris game. So the more, again, we can keep the students active, the more they're going to comprehend it. So we have different games and activities built in. So they still get their lecture. We're here to teach. At the end of every quiz or chapter, they have to take a quiz. We make them get 80% or better, or we have them go back and review the content. It's our way to help make sure that the students are truly comprehending the training. But when you throw in those exam questions and the games and activities, one of the questions in one of the scenes is a wife comes out and goes to the receptionist, unit clerk at a hospital, and says, my husband's in pain, he needs pain medicine. And the student has to decide, how does that unit answer the wife? And there's options. And depending on how the student answers, depends on the outcome in the scenario. So it is really fun for them. And that's what keeps the interaction and keeps them absorbing throughout the program.
Yeah, I think that's great. Just the ability to make it fun and make it lifelike, especially in an online setting. And, you know, so many things have kind of moved to this virtual setting with COVID-19 that, you know, MedCerts kind of has this advantage where you've done it for 11 years. You know, it's something that you're definitely used to. So that you're right. That is going to lead us to our next question. But before we start, we are going to, again, if you have questions, go ahead and get them in the chat so we can do our Q&A at the end, because it does take time for those to show up. So before we get to our last question, be sure that you get the questions in the chat. Brenda and Sandy would love an opportunity to answer any questions that you have. And then we also have some information from Brenda that we're going to throw into the chat as well, that Brenda and I have kind of been talking about on the side here in a little chat box that you can't see. So we'll get that added for everybody. But go ahead and get your questions in. That way we have them. And then Brendan and Sandy, we're just going to go to the last question. Is there anything else you think we should know about, maybe fun facts about the program or upcoming events?
Well, first of all, I'm going to tease Mindy just because she put in the chat there about Tetris being her favorite. One of mine too. But it does show our age, because I don't think Tetris is the younger generation probably hasn't played that game too often.
No.
Let's see, the fun facts. It's just nice to know that you have the ability to better yourself. There's so much negativity going on right now. There's so much with COVID, fear factors. How do I get my education? I don't want to go to school. I don't want to be around the classroom settings. So it truly is nice to know that there are options for you to better yourself during the negative of what's going down. Take advantage. You know, so many people, unfortunately, have lost their job. If now is the time to take advantage and get the training. So as things do recover, you're ready to go. Being that it is online training, now is the time to be able to to recover, get certified, and make it better afterwards. Positive attitude is the best thing. In fact, I'm going to quote something that I've heard for years. You can't change the directions of the winds, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. So that is something I have truly used throughout many years. Now is the time for us to adjust our sails to reach where we want to be.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I
might have to steal that, Sandy. So we're just going to add real quick in the chat here, just some perks of being there and with MedCerts and working with them. So this was just something that Brenda and I had kind of been talking about. Is you'll see it, and there's just some perks of working with MedCerts. Again, we talked about the content experts who are going to assist you with your studies and make sure that you're staying on track, as well as the case manager who's going to monitor your progress, and make sure you're staying on track and make sure you're comfortable. So again, if you have a question, get them in. I know there's some people out there. Hopefully we did a great enough job that you don't have questions at the end. But if you have a question, we'd love to hear it. So, take 30 seconds to a minute, throw it in. If you're watching this later in the day, you don't get to watch live with us here, go ahead and throw your question in the comments here. We do monitor that. And if it's something that I'm unable to answer, I'll definitely reach out to Sandy and Brenda and get an answer for everybody. But currently I don't see anything in there. I do want to point out, Brenda did email me. We are going to add a list of all the programs that they have. So we're going to add that to the chat, because how many different programs are with MedCerts? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think there was 35 different programs.
Okay. So, and those vary between medical and IT fields. So
correct. We even have a project management, certified associate in project management.
Okay. Awesome.
Opportunity out there now.
Yeah. So that's great. Okay. So we do have, so we'll throw it up. This question is from Adam. Adam works here at the Kentucky Career Center, and this is probably a question for when he's working with someone, if they have questions. Just recap some of the fields of study available at MedCerts.
Perfect. The one thing when somebody calls me, let's say in healthcare, and they say that they're looking to get their foot in the door, as you and I know, healthcare is always in high demand all over the country.
Yes.
The programs are a perfect fit, whether they're in a rural area or a metropolitan city. So the first question is, are you looking more into a medical office arena or patient care? And that can help direct you on how we want to go. If somebody strictly wants medical office, we talk about our certified medical administrative assistant with our certified billing and coding, or every medical office is electronic, right? There's a certified electronic health records credential.
Okay.
So it can definitely help guide a person that's looking into the medical field on what a career path would be on the office side of the arena. Behavior technician. We have a class, a registered behavior technician, that has a high focus working with children with autism. There's nothing more rewarding to know that you're able to help and to be able to help working with children. Unfortunately, for all of us, autism is too high out there. But to be able to have that understanding and work as a registered behavior technician with them is very rewarding. If you want to be patient care, we have the clinical medical assistant. And, Garrett, what a great career path. Let's get you the medical assistant. Down the road, they can become the LPN or they can become the RN. If they just use stackable credentials, they can do the clinical medical assistant and add an EKG. There's a certified EKG technician and a certified phlebotomy technician. So 2 more credentials lets the student walk out with a wide breadth of knowledge and opportunities that's going to make them more marketable. On the IT side, if you're entry level, depending on where you want to go, we have the A+ and the Network Plus. Those are CompTIA's national certification. We're all very familiar with Best Buy, right? Mm-hmm. Best Buy, the Geek Squad. The Geek Squad has to be A+. So it gives proof the person understands the hardware and operating system of personal computers and devices today. Back in the 90s when it came out, it was strictly the big towers. Now it's laptops, laptops and smartphones and Kindles and Chromebooks.
Yeah.
You know, so many different devices that a person looking for a career in IT has to know. And a career in IT is a great pathway. We can get their foot in the door, get into then security, ethical hacker, and keeping the network secure. So there's such a growth that they can have in the IT field as well. We recently have a dental assistant and a veterinary assistant program. So with our veterinary assistant, we help provide the training and an externship at a local.
I think we might have.
I think she froze for a second.
Might have froze. But plug for the veterinary technician, because my wife is a veterinary technician and she loves her job. She froze on a second for us, Brendan. You talked about an internship at that. And I was just plugging vet techs are awesome because my wife's a veterinary technician. Yeah. So
there you go.
The only drawback is every day this puppy needs a home. And I'm like, I'm sure it does, but it's not with us.
You have enough of them?
Yeah.
There you go. So many opportunities with MedCerts from healthcare, IT. We do have a customer service and project management. In the healthcare side, we've listened to our businesses and we've embedded a customer service certification in every program. Because like the HR people say, even the doctors need customer service, right? Yes. So every position now has a customer service training that will help enhance their opportunities as well.
That's excellent. Soft skills are an important part of finding employment. So, it seems like there's a lot of information out there. The best way, again, is reach out to Brenda, either by email, which is scrolling across the bottom, or by phone. And again, we'll plug that in the chat at the very end. So we do have a question here from Brendan. And this will be a question, Brendan, we'll probably have to get back to you on just to double check. Could WIOA dollars be used to cover the cost of the vet tech program? And honestly, I'm not real sure of the answer. Potentially it could, but I'll get an answer, Brendan, and get back to you on that because I don't want to say yes or no. And then we are going to show, this isn't a question, but Mindy still can't talk, had talked about if eligible for WIOA, it can be used to help pay for all or most of the cost of MedCerts. That's what we had talked about and what Sandy brought up about being an eligible provider. So if that is something that interests you and you'd like to learn more assistance about how potentially you could be eligible for WIOA to get help to attend MedCerts, reach out to us at careercoach@brightencenter.com for more information. But yeah, I'm not real sure, Brendan, about covering the vet tech cost program in terms of how that's going to be looked at from approval processes on our end, not with MedCerts. So I'll get an answer and get back to you on that, Brendan. So, but that's it. There's no more questions. Sandy and Brenda, thank you so much for taking time to join us today. I know that you guys are super busy. We appreciate it, and everybody that gets a chance to watch this appreciates it. And hopefully if you're out there watching and you've been thinking about a career change or you're looking for a career change, definitely keep MedCerts in mind if you're looking in IT or a medical training or project management, customer service, and they could definitely be a huge partner in your success.
Yes, thank you so much. We definitely look forward to continuing to work with you in Kentucky at the workforce offices, as well as the residents to help provide short-term training leading to enhance their careers.
Excellent. Thank you. Don't forget to join us next Tuesday. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Brenda.
I said we look forward to doing this again.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll definitely keep you in mind. Thursday, Haley will be back with another Employer Spotlight on Facebook Live, so be sure you join us, and we'll be back next Tuesday. Everybody, thanks for watching. Brenda and Sandy, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.